demonstrators at the Grays Gurdwara have got their way with the managing committee of the temple, which has agreed to stop serving alcohol and meat at parties which were being held in Gurdwara-owned buildings. We sent out Raj Mehta to take a closer look.
A group of Sikhs, whom are collectively called a Sangat and the Satkadar Sevadars, true religious service of the Sikh faith, have been peacefully demonstrating. Around 250 Sikhs protested against the Grays Gurdwara's shocking practice of serving alcohol and meat at parties inside Gurdwara premises. The Sangat have been campaigning with their message and guidance of Akal Takht Sahib to all UK Gurdwaras. This includes protocol dating back to one of the Sikh gurus called Guru Hargobind Singh, who guided not to permit alcohol and meat. This has led to the Sikh community uniting to campaign and protest against meat and alcohol being allowed on Gurdwara premises. Along with meat and alcohol being banned, the message sent to all UK Gurdwaras is also banning parties and tobacco on Gurdwara-owned premises. There are several Gurdwaras who are not complying with the guidance provided. In the UK, there are 15 Gurdwaras which are currently being called upon to follow the protocol. Whether these 15 Gurdwaras will accept the message of Sikh law called Akal Takht Sahib, which was issued in 2006, is undecided. The Grays Committee at the Grays Gurdwara in Essex, after much fighting and voting, have decided to comply with the Sangat's wishes of implementing the guidance of forbidding alcohol, meat and parties. There are approximately 300 Gurdwaras in the UK, and of those 300, those that do not comply will be seen to by the Sangat, who are campaigning in the form of protests. They have for the moment, however, decided to send a sandesh, meaning a message, to all the UK Gurdwaras to oblige with this message of forbiddance. The shocking part is that some Gurdwaras are permitting meat and alcohol on their sacred premises in the first instance.
All Sikh organisations, true Sikh organisations, do actually do the best they can. They may have a particular perspective, so it's not from any one group to recommend or dismiss another. However, what needs to be borne in mind is the core values, the adherence to the Sewa UK Maryada, the code of conduct. Those who oppose or do something different to the Sewa UK Maryada are not necessarily good Sikh organisations. One case in point is, for example, recently we heard that some Gurdwaras provide meat and alcohol, or certainly allow meat and alcohol in adjoining langar halls or halls that they own. This is clearly against the Sikh code of conduct. And I suspect that part of the reason is either the individuals who are supposed to be managing it aren't fully aware of what Sikh code of conduct is, or certainly they're trying to be entrepreneurial, but unfortunately they're crossing the boundary, which they shouldn't. It may be an income stream, but it's an immoral income stream, according to Sikh values, and the lack of a proper recognised Sikh body, a national Sikh body, is perhaps the cause of this. I understand that some efforts are being made to set one up. Some would argue that there are some already in existence. Unfortunately, they are not necessarily recognised by the mainstream or the rank and file. They tend to be membership organisations who will only talk to their members and not necessarily either represent the wider Sikh values or other than perhaps whatever their chair, director, leader or whatever they want to call themselves this week will want to say.
The Satkar Sevadars will act like a regulating body and have been on hand to assist the implementation of the message. There will also be help provided to the locals if needed by the Sangat of Satkar Sevadars, assisting with communications for all UK Gurdwaras. There is some opposition from some Gurdwaras who are refusing to comply to the Akal Takht Sahib Sandesh. This may be due to their long-standing services which they have been providing to their customers and could mean an end to a very profitable earner for the Gurdwaras, or they may feel that they should not be dictated to as to how to conduct the running of their Gurdwaras. We wanted to know what the local communities of Sikhs have to say about alcohol and meat on Gurdwara premises.
This is totally against the religion, that's the main, and particularly when you, drinking in the premises, that's your holy place, and you're not supposed to do all this. And the meat as well, in the religion, when the thing is not allowed to eat inside, you must not do though, and you are not giving some really good preaching to your generation, because if you have to teach them the proper things, then you teach them the proper religion, what it is.
I don't think it's right at all. Whoever is serving that, they are not Sikhs. They are just pretending to be Sikhs.
It's a business at the end of the day. If a person needs to make a living, so be it. He makes his living by whatever means he makes it. If that is by selling meat, alcohol on premises, that's up to them. I ain't got a qualm with them or anything like that. Simple.
We're living in a very diverse community. Some people don't like meat, some people don't like alcohol. So consuming these two things, like meat and alcohol, I'm kind of abiding it because it's not fair, because some people don't believe in religious belief as well. So I think we just keep the religious places as religious rather than bring other things in there as well.
I think that's appalling. Meat and alcohol, I haven't heard of myself, but I think that's really bad. Traditionally, everything's supposed to be vegetarian, and the Gurdwara is a place of worship, which the Sikhs believe, it's a really holy place and everything. So I think everything should be obviously meat-free and alcohol-free. It's a place of worship and a place for people to go do good kind of thing,
It's very bad. It doesn't come in the Sikhism. It's not. Our religion totally stops us for doing that.
I'm not happy with it at all. It's not a nice thing to do, because you believe in Guru Granth Sahib and then you have meat and all that. That is very wrong.
The Gurdwaras which permit such activities are looked upon as committing anti-Sikh activities, and all Gurdwaras are requested to renounce these activities and adhere to Akal Takht Sahib's guidance. This issue of parties with alcohol and meat will raise questions of Sikh principles.
I have before me what is called the Sikh Maryada. The Sikh Maryada is the code of Sikh conduct and conventions. This was agreed over 50 years ago as a guidance, as a sort of guidance by the top scholars amongst the Sikhs. It was approved by the top authority amongst the Sikhs called the Akal Takht and the Shiromani Gurdwara Property Committee. First of all, in this Takht Maryada, it is very clear. It says that this is for every Sikh. A Sikh must not take hemp, that's cannabis, opium, liquor, tobacco, in short, any intoxicant. His only routine intake should be food. Now, in the Gurdwaras, the tradition always has been that no meat has been served. Alcohol, of course, is out of the question. No meat is served. The Sikh Takht Maryada does not specifically forbid the eating of meat, but usually it is understood that the baptized or the Amritari Sikhs, they do not eat meat. It does not forbid it. The only type of meat which is forbidden is sacrificial meat. In other words, meat prepared in a sacrificial manner. On this particular question, there is absolutely no doubt, after going through the provisions in this guidance, that a Gurdwara should not be associated in any way with the eating of meat or the serving of alcohol. That means not only in the Sangat Pangat halls, but also in any premises related to the Gurdwara. That is the present position. And if there's any dispute, in other words, if the local Sangha, the congregation, decides otherwise, and there is a dispute, then this guidance clearly says towards the end that an appeal can be made to the Akal Takht, the supreme Sikh authority, against a local congregation's decision. So that if a local congregation decides, for whatever reasons, by majority or so on, that alcohol or meat can be served, if not in the Gurdwara itself, then some premises attached to the Gurdwara, there's a dispute about that, and there should not be, but if there is a dispute, then an appeal can be made to Akal Takht against a local congregation's decision. That is the position regarding the serving of meat and alcohol in a Gurdwara. And as for holding any parties, other than those parties associated with the ceremonies like Anand Karaj, the marriage ceremony, or other ceremonies, Guru Purb and so on. Other than those, the Gurdwara is not, or the Langar Hall is not the place for private parties. These guidelines, they have been contravened or broken in any way. Then I would suggest that those who have become aware of such breaking of the rules, they should approach the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee at Amritsar and take this matter up with them.
There are many other religions, for example Hinduism, Islam and even the Methodist Church, which do not allow alcohol, tobacco or parties on their premises. The Hindu temples also restrict consumption of non-vegetarian foods and do not serve meat in the temples. As far as parties go, most religious establishments would not tolerate non-religious activities and would want to respect the sanctity of the holy grounds where the religious activities are practiced. The drastic measure to close the party halls could be costly to the Gurdwaras, as they could benefit from this source of income. However, the Gurdwara halls could still serve a purpose by allowing certain types of activities, as there are people who would still wish to hold certain types of functions, for example weddings, birthdays and some sangeet, religious recitations, for a number of different reasons, i.e. the remembrance of an ancestor upon passing to the celestial abode. The establishment would still benefit from charging a fee to hire the halls for holding these types of activities, whereby they could still generate revenue for the Gurdwara. As for the UK Gurdwaras who permit alcohol, meat and parties, it remains to be seen whether they will comply with the guidance of the Guru Hargobind Singh, who Sikhs admire dearly. Raj Mehta, Sunrise Television.